The Anunnaki, they are these beings that came from off-world.
So these are aliens?
These are aliens. Now, what's interesting about these aliens is that they're not little green men with antenna. Yeah. They're actually hominids, bilateral bipedal hominids. They look just like us.
Okay.
You slice them in half. They have two forward-faced looking eyes, two hands, legs. We actually look like them.
Okay.
And the reason why is because we have their genetics and their DNA inside of our bodies. Now, what's interesting is these beings were a spacefaring race that broke away from the Pleiadian star system. The Pleiadian star system is a group of stars called the Seven Sisters in the night sky. There was an ancient galactic war there.
Okay.
Most of the information from Star Wars comes from this text. And this war, they had these destroyers like Death Stars. They don't call them that, but they call them the Brahma-Astra and Brahma-Astra Honda weapons that actually can release a weapon that can destroy planets.
When the Anunnaki came to Earth, were there already Homo sapiens here?
Yes, they were Homo erectus. They were our cousins. They didn't call us apes. They called us beings.
Yeah.
And in the Epic of Atrahasis, there was this big war getting ready to happen. Enki, Enlil, and Anu were in this place in South Africa called Adam's Calendar. The Ijiji, who were the working class Anunnaki, came from Mars to Earth to go to war against them because they felt like they were being enslaved. They came to Earth and they encircled the campus and they said, we're gonna go to war. And it was like, well, why? And they were like, well, we've been asking you for relief for 250,000 years they were working. And we don't have any women. And so Enki says, I have an idea. They were like, there's an existing being here, though, that we can add our essence to, talking about genetic modification, and get them to bear your loads. Because they had kind of discussed robotics, but they had talked about their home planet. When they tried that, it failed. So that's a clue as to what AI can do to a planet.
So don't make robots, make people that can do your work for you.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Well, Anunnaki is a general term. It doesn't mean one race. If all of us here got in a spaceship and flew to Mars and we met a Martian and he said, who are you guys? We'd say Earthlings. That's one term, but we're all different races here.
Right.
Anunnaki is a term to say those who came from heaven to earth. That's it. In Africa, they call it the Nituru, which means the same exact thing. The gods that came from heaven to earth and turned mud into a kingdom. Now, the civilization they built is the Atlantean civilization.
So this is where we hear about Atlantis, the mythology of Atlantis.
Right.
Got it. Where's the evidence for this?
A lot of the Indian texts, the Vedas, the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, the ancient lore of the indigenous aboriginals, the Enuma Elish, the Epic of Atrahasis, the Code of Hammurabi, the Myth of Etana. There's so many tablets, I can just keep going. So we're talking about the evidence of space refugees.
So you're seeing this in these ancient Indian texts?
Yeah, the Hopi tribe elders have written this book based on that text and published it, actually. It's called the Terror Papers. It reads like the Star Wars movie. And what's interesting is it talks about, again, these same galactic wars going on. People fleeing from that region of space, looking for other planets, Orion, Aldebaran, Sirius A, B, and C, which we know the Dogon talk about people coming from Sirius B, which is a star that ran out of fuel, and of course Earth. And they came here to create a breakaway civilization. Just like if there was a war, there was in our solar system, that's what we call Mars, the god of war, we're gonna be like, you know, we gotta get off this planet because the debris is going to destroy us.
So we're the product of the aliens, basically. Like aliens who weren't ready to bang and fight for their future and their freedom, they just ran. We're defectors.
There was the elites that had the access to the ships that can take them from one star to another.